I would say greetings, this is Kabanka Pyramid representing the Lion Voice blog. Make sure that them check it out and stay tuned. See? Ras Tafari blessings every time.
I said.
What do you have to tell the people about Ras Tafari?
Light to the world. The king of kings and the conquering line of the tribe of Judah. I left himself. Where's my ruler? Hey yo! Yeah. Hear them high, hear the black king born the 23rd of July. So tell them guy who praise God up in the sky, it's a lie. The Almighty living on your night. From ancient time them a try. Them Romans know them just open them suit and ties. Criminals ain't got no alibi, they stole my people. Then them come without them genocide.
Are you talking about slavery?
Them couldn't kill. The lion will come conquer Judah tribe. Go through tribulation, and I strive, see sufferation, and I still rise. That's why we tell them in America, live Rastafari in every ghetto area. We come to tell them in a Toronto, straight at
What was the journey? Because the book kind of coincides with your journey to Rastafari.
Right.
Putting on a covenant, deciding to take on this because you're already in the uptown circle. That means that, you know, you probably could have had a much easier life, you know?
Yes.
If you had not chosen, you know what I mean? Why Rastafari?
Yeah, you're correct in that. I believe I could have had an easier start to life in terms of career. You know, my mother was she's retired now, but she spent all of her life from she left high school. She spent her life in the bank, and by the time I came of age, she was very high in terms of position in the bank, and one word from her could have definitely got me into that world, and you know, who knows where I'd be today. But that just wasn't my calling. You know, I just I had become too socially aware during college, and even though I didn't use the term Babylon at the time, I was very hyper aware of the system around me is rigged in a way that is not for me. And yes, I could go in and contribute to it. You know, at the time, what I was initially studying, I could have ended up at NASA or Boeing or one of those huge aerospace technology companies or something like that. But I just didn't have that kind of interest. So going back to Jamaica was really a great move for me spiritually. And that started me walking this path to where I am even now and where I'm headed today. The initial steps of that journey included, actually working for a local casino in Kingston, which, you know, that was an experience that I'll never forget. I didn't enjoy it. And then the positive part now started to come in when I started working for the Marley family. Initially Rita Marley at the Bob Marley Foundation at the Bob Marley Museum. And that coincided now. That was what led me to Rastafari, because she had set me up in a little office inside the house where Bob used to live.
Okay.
They had a little library, and they were like, you know, trying to find somewhere to put me to do my work. And it was like, put him in the library, and you know. So I'm in the library surrounded by books, and you know, take a little break from work and I check out the shelf and whatever. And that's where I first came across the autobiography of His Majesty.
Okay.
So that was what made me look into this man and say, what a great man this is, you know.
Okay. So what were some of the remarkable things about His Majesty? Because, you know, very controversial, you know, this king from Ethiopia, and you putting all of this upon this little man. Yeah. You know, why, you know, or what things that stood out to the eye?
You know what stood out to me at first? Just his clarity of thought. Just something as simple as that. Because even before that, I was really enthralled by Che Guevara, you know, and just how he was very clear in what he was setting down in his journals. And he was the first person that made me want to journal and made me start journaling. So by that time, I was already journaling. And then when I was reading His Majesty's autobiography, I was just saying, you know, what I was really surprised at first. Why do I not know about this man? And I am 20-something years old. I lived 2 decades on the earth, and nobody has really impressed upon me that this man lived on the same earth that I live in on, and king of a whole nation. And these are the things he had to grapple with. And these were his thoughts, you know, and I was just, he had me from the first page, you know. And so that now made me say, okay, and when I started to really understand that Ras Tafari is the name of a man, that was when I felt, okay, let me start twist up my hair and really pre this track, you know. And then obviously I'm at the Bob Marley Museum, so the influences are around, you know. We have some elders there. I must mention, you know, Chicken, Paul, you know, they were great mentors to me. Kojo, you know, and you would reason with me during my breaks and just, you know, very patient and tell me little things about the trad, you know, and I was just, that was the beginning of it for I.
One of the things I love about Rastafari is that His Majesty put the people around you that you need at the time that you need them, you know, because even in I'm an early trad, I remember some of the people I had to interact with and ask questions, and when you reflect forward, those were the perfect people for that time, you know.
Yes.
So give thanks to know that you're coming through. The great Robert Nesta Marley, you know, Brahani Selassie would always have to acknowledge the work, and the legacy of work is unquestionable, you know. Yeah. Right there. So in terms of the I, you know, you start say Rastafari. What was the journey now that led you to leave Jamaica and come to Washington D.C., because that's where I met the I, was Washington D.C. What was that journey?
That journey, you know, was one of, you know, it just felt like two things. It felt like the time had come for me to make a transition. After about 4 years in Jamaica, really going through this initial part of my career, I was a tour guide at the museum. Mm-hmm. In recognition of how well I was performing, they moved me to Tough Gang to head up the tour department there. And then in recognition of that, they made me the communications coordinator for the Bob Marley Group, Jamaica Limited. So that included the foundation, the museum, and Tough Gang put together. And then now, towards the end, they offered to make me the marketing manager. But in the negotiations, it kind of fell through, and to me, it felt like a time to step back, completely out of the group of companies. So I stepped back. I started doing my own public relations writing practice. So I was writing. You know, I started building a clientele at the time. It was Don Corleone, because of my link with Protege. You know, he gave me a chance to write press releases for when he was releasing songs. So that was very fruitful. And some other really, you know, Michael Kushney, I think I worked with him a time or two. And so, you know, I was starting to build a clientele.
Well, this is the Chaz Match Kwasi and a Dutty Bookman sound. Well, we are here seated in the world's most preeminent military superpower, Washington, D.C. And on the Sabbath day, we gather at the Sankofa bookstore owned by filmmaker Haile Garima to study the words and teachings of His Imperial Majesty through the selected speeches. Enough time to see Dutty Bookman, and when him coming, this is what we all learned. Listen. Well, Haile Selassie I calling. Me see so dirty Babylon dear falling down. Haile Selassie I calling. See so dirty Babylon dear falling down. Haile Selassie I calling. Me see so dirty Babylon dear falling down. Haile Selassie I calling. Dutty Bookman give them a warning. Otto van Bismarck him get a beating. The boy divide the continent, him and him friend them call a meeting. Wicked man them always cheating. Them wanna take the food out the youths them out when them eating. World resources depleting. I say you wake Mount Zion, them a rob you while you sleeping. Still we have to bring the greetings from Jah Haile Selassie. There's no guy that can defeat him. Haile Selassie I calling. Me see so dirty Babylon they're falling down. Haile Selassie I calling. See so dirty Babylon they're falling down. Haile Selassie I calling. Me see so dirty Babylon they're falling down. Haile Selassie I calling. Dutty Bookman give them a warning. Rome one conquer Zion I. The hyenas them always wanna fight against the lion pride. So they try commit genocide. Can't forget all of the men and women that died from the fascist invasion. Them want kill off the Africans and replace them with Caucasian. Mustard gas bring devastation. Them want kill off the animal and destroy the vegetation. They use crop duster planes, they spray poison vapor. Let me explain. Death a fall from the sky like rain. Them couldn't kill Haile Selassie, him still come break the chains. I Selassie I calling. Me see so dirty Babylon they're falling down. Haile Selassie I calling. See so dirty Babylon they're falling down. Selassie I calling. Me see so dirty Babylon they're falling down. Haile Selassie I calling. Dutty Bookman give them a warning. Here come the beer, come with them communism. One lock the Lion of Judah in a prison. 1 year under house arrest. The youths them confused, students start protest. The Rasta say he's the Almighty in flesh. Most of the people in the world them say them couldn't care less.